In the symphony of shadows, there lies a place where the mysterious takes center stage. Join us as we unravel tales that blur the line between the mainstream and the macabre. This is the Trick or Trio.
Oh, hello. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Trick or Duo, a trio. How's everybody doing? Welcome.
What is going on, Tyler? How you doing?
Doing good. As you guys know, I'm Tyler G. This is my partner, Savannah.
That's me.
Yes, right there. Or right there. Where is he? Right over there? Yeah, there we go.
Wait,
We've got a very exciting episode for you guys. We've got some fun stuff we're going to be going over. We've got Morris Costumes, a lot to talk about that. As you guys know, the Halloween and Party Expo just happened. So we'll be talking about our opinions on the new props and stuff. Savannah, I don't think I've seen most of it. So
No, I haven't. I've purposely, other than the stuff that I got copyrighted on, purposely have stayed away from any kind of leaks. So I'm excited for tonight's episode so I can see them all. You guys can get my true reaction as well as Tyler's. Then we got a bunch of other stuff lined up as well. We got a Q&A that's going to be happening. We have a maybe a taste test or two.
maybe trying some new foods today. Who knows? You'll just have to wait till the end of the stream. We'll also be talking a bit about Distortions Unlimited and their new stuff.
And if you notice one thing, I'm not at our podcast studio. If you are, well, of course you're watching this live because it's live. So I am in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's snowing here.
I'm sorry to hear that, Savannah. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, kind of sucked.
And I'm in Jersey.
Well, Tyler, you just recently had a birthday.
I did. I just turned 19. Super fun. We've got big things with that coming up as well that we'll get into later. You know, good old birthday bash, I guess you could say. But yeah, had a good birthday, had some family come over, had some Papa John's. I mean, first time trying Papa John's. I was
really?
curious. Yeah, that was my first time trying Papa John's. Because I mean, we're in Jersey. Usually we've got the real pizzerias here.
The real pizzerias over
pizzerias.
here. It's with the mozzarella, eh?
So we don't usually get the chain. We don't usually go to the chains or anything. But I was curious for Papa John's.
What was your opinion?
Definitely different.
I think that it was better pizza because it was better ingredients.
I wouldn't say it was better.
Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
It was really thick. It was like a thick doughy slice, which I still liked it. It was still honestly really good. Good garlic knots.
But it's not. It's definitely not Jersey style.
Oh no, definitely not. No.
Jersey style is that thin, fold that slice in half.
Exactly. This was like
mozzarella real pizza.
Manja. Okay. Enough with that messing around going on. Why don't we get into all of the new Morris costume stuff?
I'm excited. Let's see what we got here.
Let's do it. All right.
These are the Banjo Skeletons.
Works for me. And I just want to shout out LMJ Halloween real quick. All these clips are from him. He was nice enough to not copyright everyone using his clips. If you guys have heard, there's whole stuff going on about that. And if you don't know what's going on, check out Hamburger Hospital's video, his latest video. He did a great job summing up what happened on his channel. But yeah, so what were you going to say?
I was going to say he went there and filmed it himself.
He did, yeah, of course. He went to the Halloween and Party Expo and filmed it himself.
So this is the Banjo Skeleton Duo, which they've had this type of thing for years.
Yeah, I don't know if this model is necessarily new or anything. This is, I mean, they're just banjo playing skeletons. We've seen stuff like this all the time. A lot of different companies have sold stuff like them.
I don't get it.
I I don't know. Some people like it. You know, I mean, I don't know.
So I will say that
Cute little
when
decor. They're cute. It's the cute side of Halloween. It's not the scary side of it.
and I don't know if Amy will remember this, but when I first kind of exposed to Amy's family that we were really deep into Halloween, her mom was like, "Hey, I'm gonna hook you up with some Halloween stuff," and gave me some banjo playing skeletons that we obviously never used.
Come on, why did you? Oh, excuse me. Turn them into a clown or something.
No, not gonna do that. I'm not a fan of the animatronics playing instruments, as I'm also not a fan of uh, country music or bluegrass music or whatever you want to call this. And the combination of Halloween and hillbilly just not
I honestly like
on
Halloween
my
and
vibe.
Hillbilly. I think it works. It like a nice Western, not necessarily in this, this is cheesy, but like I feel like that nice hillbilly Southern accent on a nice like scarecrow prop or something like that. Big
Oh
old
yeah, that
butcher,
makes sense.
something
That
like
makes
that.
sense. But like
But
for
something
me,
like
like a
this is
skeleton playing a banjo is just like
not needed. Just kind of
not,
filler.
dude. Especially when they've had it out for like 15
Yeah,
years.
it's
We need
so overdone.
a
Yeah.
new or even old. Like, why are we releasing the banjo playing skeleton? Anybody at the Halloween Party Expo, I guarantee, didn't walk up and go, "Whoa, this is the most original idea I've ever seen."
I'm surprised we haven't gotten a life-size version of these guys. Just the little like tabletop guys.
Yeah, that I
With
mean that
how with
we
not
did kind of get some guitar playing skeletons last year.
Yeah, we did get there was the Costco one and the Lowe's ones. I do honestly I like the Lowe's band. I love the whole idea with it. I just wasn't big with the look on how they looked. I thought, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of their design, I guess you could say. I just thought it looked very plain. But I love the idea of the skeletons playing the instrument, hooking them up with Bluetooth. Um,
If
Honestly,
the
I do
speakers
kind of
were
still
louder.
want them to and just like redo them. I also wish the skeleton like strum the guitar like these guys do. Because the drummer
Instead of doing
drums.
this.
Exactly. Yeah, he just bobs his head. He should have. It would make more sense.
It would make
Um,
more sense.
but yeah, I really hope to see them release some new skeleton band characters. I guess you could say.
What else do we have going on here?
Yeah. What's next? Let's see.
Enough of those guys. Okay, there's a
Just this
cheap,
is just Sunstar. This isn't.
yeah, cheap,
This is just Sunstar. Skip next.
cheapy McCheaperson. Next is
Barker,
okay.
classic.
Barker's
Is
returning,
there
so
anything
I'm
different
glad
with
that he's
him, or is he
returning.
just like completely the same? I think he's just everything's the same.
Yeah, it looks like it's just a re-release.
Yeah.
You know what kind of bothers me sometimes though, I must admit. If you're gonna have real hair on the back of the head, give him some real facial hair.
Yeah,
Like,
I
wouldn't that
agree.
just make more sense?
It
Like,
would. It
either
would.
mold all the hair or real hair for everything.
Exactly. No, I completely agree. Hopefully they did fix him this year because I know that last year a lot of people were having some issues with the Digitize and just like I guess the relay and stuff like that on him.
Yeah, they like turn it's like after the first cycle, once it like returns, the first saying the eyes don't turn down, I think is what it was, if I remember. Like
Yeah,
mine
that's
did that. But mine only did it one time and then never did it again.
it's weird. No
Yeah,
clue. I don't know if the LEDs need a light or heat up or something like that. Power up. I don't know. But
it's
yeah,
so
we've
weird.
seen him last year.
I'm glad he's coming back though.
Yeah, he's definitely one of Morris's better props. I honestly, I've said this a lot of times, even in my Morris costumes video. I'm kind of trying to sway away a bit from clowns, but do really love seeing these more circus animatronics. Because I mean, there's so many clowns. We've seen clowns 100 times. No offense,
Right.
Savannah. Um, but
They have to be done right at this
yeah,
point, and that's what I
exactly.
was really hoping for this year, which I'm sure we'll talk about as some of these other, props get
And, like,
shown, but
I'm not completely hating on clowns. It's just we've seen the same exact cookie cutter clown so many times. Um,
we gotta change it up, man. We really
exactly,
need to,
exactly.
and luckily, it seems like this year, so far, they have.
Good
So
start.
far.
Yeah, exactly.
Still very early in the season, so I'm sure that we'll get some basic clowns coming out of somebody's company, but,
We got Morris's Towering Reaper in the back as well. You know,
making a
just
return.
another return. Exactly. All right, next. Oh, you wanna
Speaking
go
of
on this one?
clowns,
Yep. You wanna talk
I
about this
do.
guy?
So, um, I like this guy. I love the concept. I know that the sign said that it's 8 feet tall. I don't know if it's actually 8 feet tall. The pole, from what I've seen on other videos, the stand is kind of like how the Ferris, or not the Ferris wheel, the carousel stand is. So I can imagine that there's a way to make it taller because I want to personally have this guy like 15 feet in the air, maybe even 20 feet in the air. It'd be awesome. And I think that it would also make it where you wouldn't be able to tell that the clown was smaller in size, right? Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
this is
like a
another
forced
way
perspective.
of them, yeah, force perspective. And this is another way of bringing a clown to the collection, and it's not a stereotypical clown of I'm 6 feet tall, I'm
Yeah.
talking and moving my arms. Ha ha ha.
Now, I love the idea. I just don't like the way he looks. It's that cheap clothing, cheap face. I don't know.
Yeah, I know
I
what you're
love the
saying,
whole
but
balancing look though.
well, and that's one thing I did want to talk about is that somebody actually I've seen in the past where people like made this exact concept homemade, um, except there was no movement or light up, obviously, but it's very easy to make one of these guys with no movement. Um, and so I've seen where people in the past have done this. Essentially, what Morris did was, or whoever had created this for Morris, is took that concept and just put a motor in the mouth and on the body. But it's fairly easy to make if you don't want to shell out the however many hundreds of dollars that this is going to eventually be for
Yeah.
consumers.
Now, one thing I also wasn't big with was the
Shoes?
supports on him. Well, honestly, yeah, shoes, just seeing that now. But the supports on him, like, I understand why, but I feel like they could have, like, hidden the poles supporting the big pole going up. Because, like, say this is the pole, like, that he's standing on. There's, like, a pole going halfway up, like a cross beam. And it's in, like, the front of it, I think. And you could just, it's visible. I feel
Yeah.
like they could have come up with a better way to hide that. Um,
Put
that
it
was
at least in the back.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
I understand because, like, I guess his weight is kind of going that way, but still, I feel if it better welds, thicker metal, I don't know. They could have had
it's a
him stand upright.
let's be real. It's a Morris situation. The
Yeah,
thing will last about 2 years. Um, unless you take very, very, very good care of it. A lot of our stuff has lasted 4 and 5, 6 years.
same here.
Um,
A lot of my OG stuff still hasn't broken. Knock on wood.
yeah. But I'm pretty positive I'll still get this guy. I know he's not necessarily. I'm not super excited. I love the concept, but I'm not like, oh yeah, that's gonna be my favorite.
Yeah, no.
Now it's gonna be cool, I think,
Yeah,
but
he's
it's not
cool. Yeah, I like.
my favorite.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
Next,
Next. Oh, I like this
this
guy.
guy,
No, what do you mean this guy? You don't like
bro. No, I don't, and I'll tell you why. So
why?
the body bag he's carrying looks too worm-ish.
Yes. The body
It
bag is too skinny. It's too small. Um
and it looks like the movement is like, it's not very, the head doesn't move at all. Just the guy's, essentially the guy's waist, knees, and that's maybe a little bit of his ankles are too loose in this. I don't know, but it seems. I'm not kidding. When I first saw this, I was like, "What the heck is that guy carrying? Like a gigantic worm?" And
That'd
then
be cool.
I showed it to Amy, and she was like, "Why is that guy carrying a big worm?" I was like, "Bro, that's the same thing I said." Then as you watch it a little more, I'm like, "Oh, it's a body bag."
Yeah, I see what
Right?
you're saying.
But even this doesn't make sense because it's like, what is the guy's name? Do you remember? Isn't it like
Like
Grave Digger or something?
grave robber, or
Grave
something
Robber.
like
Okay. You wouldn't be pulling a body like this out of a grave.
that. Maybe it's a zombie in the bag.
This is the kind of bag that you wrap a body up that you go and throw in the ocean. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, is this something you need to tell Savannah? Do you know this from personal experience?
Velveeta shells and cheese. No, but that's not how a body would get. That's not what a body looks like when you pull it out of a grave.
Yeah,
Like
it's definitely not
it would
accurate.
have been it would have been better if he was just like hauling a coffin and maybe it was like moving back and
That
forth
would
like
be
he's trying
dope.
to drag a coffin or something, I don't know. This worm idea. You like the guy though, right?
I do. It's not like, once again, it's not like a favorite animatronic. He's like a really, I think he's a really good filler animatronic. I do think he would be pretty decent in a graveyard. I don't like, there's something about this arm that's just kind of there. I don't know if it's how skinny it is. Like the hand is just like super skinny. I'm not big with that. I know in this video, I'm not sure if like you could probably adjust it, but like the arm just isn't touching the bag. It's like a foot away from the bag. I'm pretty sure you
Yep.
probably can adjust that and fix that easily. Bend the metal a little bit, whatever. They were probably just in a
Just
rush to set all this
snap
up.
the elbow. I mean,
Just like wobble it like a worm a little bit.
yeah.
Um, but
He would go really good with that Gravedigger one from, was it
Home
Home
Depot.
Depot?
Yeah.
He had his foot on the shovel or what have you.
So yeah, honestly, that'd be dope. He's digging up the grave. He's help. His partner,
And
partner
they
in
kind of have
crime.
a similar
Look,
look to each other.
this guy also has like a cowboy hat. I'm pretty sure it was. Like if you
Yeah.
look at different angles, it was a cowboy hat, which was interesting. Interesting design
What do you think
choice.
his sayings are?
I forget what they were because there are videos of all the stock. All the stock videos are out where you could hear like the high quality
So like,
description and
oh,
stuff.
this guy's a little wormy.
I forget what they were. I think they were decent. I think he had they weren't too cheesy. If I remember right, it had.
Does he sound like Uncle Boo Boo, aka clowning around?
Think he
Does
had a
he
similar.
sound a little like this?
No, if I remember right, I think he had a similar voice to the Gravedigger, like just that gruff, tough voice.
Oh, but he still had that accent, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I could
Yeah.
be
Oh,
completely
it's
wrong.
the,
Completely.
oh, this guy's a little wormy.
He's flopping around.
Squirmy wormy. Hey, come help me, Ermy.
Now you could also see behind him is Rusty. I'm pretty sure that is over there. Yeah. From
Yeah.
Spirit Halloween. Spirit doesn't sell him anymore, so he's just kind of up for grabs. Morris took him. I think they had him before. But he's back.
Now I
Uh
thought that Techie made Rusty.
well, yeah, Techie makes Rusty, but like I mean like Spirit sold him.
No, no, no.
I
I
think
know. So I didn't. Does Morris normally have Techie animatronics? So I know they do a
yes.
lot SVI.
They're primarily SVI. A lot of their cheaper looking stuff is Techie a lot of times.
Like the older
Either
Techie.
yeah, they've had a couple like they remade old Spirit props but made them
With
really
like a
bad.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super bad. But they just didn't look good. And then they've taken some older Spirit props, or there's the Party City animatronic that they took. Because once the company starts selling them, they just kind of go back into the general catalog for any company to sell them. Unless that company has rights to it. Like right now, Spirit has the rights to Mr. Dark, where no other company could use that right now. So
Right.
the companies can.
And that might expire
Yeah.
in like
Yeah,
5
exactly.
years.
It'll expire at
Yeah,
some point, and you might see Mr. Dark at Morris Costumes one day.
but it'll be have a different name.
Yeah.
Be like
Jumping
Jumping
Demon.
Johnny. All right, let's see what's next.
All right, Sword Swallower. He is definitely a favorite of everybody this year.
Yeah.
Um, everybody is talking good stuff about him. I don't know if I've even seen one like real negative comment, huge negative comment about him.
I don't know this arm if it's
Really?
really like
I think
if
that
it's
added a lot to
needed.
him. I think that added a lot to the character because I mean, like, you see a lot of times that's kind of what they're doing. I don't know.
Like
It
it's all
makes
like
it feel more natural.
dramatic.
Yeah, it just makes it feel more natural instead of it just laying out there stiff.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Um, I don't I don't know. I think it added a lot more character and just life to him, I guess you could say. And like I said, instead of just holding it out. I do like that he just like a sword swallower, he'll, puts the sword in slow and then just yanks it out. I do think that
Yeah,
was
and
a
I
really smart design on him.
it's it's funny because when I was watching the video of the sword going in and then popping out, I think it might be a very similar mech to like a Henry Hustle head,
Mhm.
or like it's usually used um to pop up and scare,
Yeah.
whereas it's the opposite for this, which is really smart for somebody to say, hey, look, I know there's a long reset, that can be the part that he's shoving it in, and then
Seriously, they're
really the
using the reset at the right
reset,
time. Yeah.
right, the reset to go out fast, it's all about the action of the reset coming back in slow. So it's I think it's a great idea, whoever
Yeah.
made this. You
We
think
I'm
that
pretty
this is
sure
SVI because
yeah, pretty sure he's SVI. We were thinking it's probably the same mech as the popcorn clown because that had that pop up, where it popped up and then so it's probably either the same or just very similar to that, that they're just kind of reusing that mech. But that's what I love to see when companies reuse a mech that's been used 100 times in such a unique way. And it's just once again, it's breaking free from that cookie cutter design. It's not just a guy popping straight up. It's
right.
super unique, and they're using it in super unique ways.
Yeah, and I also am really surprised. Part of me was really surprised to find out, like, if you're saying that you think this is SVI or it is, because the face of him, at least on this prototype, is pretty gruesome.
Yeah. I think I
The cuts
love
all
the
over his
face.
face.
I'm pretty sure it's plastic, which I think is a perfect choice for it. I mean, it's hard to tell, that's always something hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure it's plastic.
It looks like a hard
Yeah.
plastic.
Which I think they did a great job with it. I think the face looks great. It's super detailed, like all the lines in the chin and stuff like that, the wrinkles. There's just so much detail in it, which I was really surprised about. And honestly, I've heard some people not like the clothes that he's wearing. I think it works really well. I think just that simple button-down shirt and overalls. I don't know. I like it. I like the simple. Usually, I'm not big with simple plain clothes, but I think for him it worked really well. I like how also like how
What did they
he's got the
think that
blood.
he would like? Like, what would someone expect a sword swallower to wear? Why would he wear anything but
I don't know.
this?
I don't know.
To be
I just
honest,
think
I'd
it
probably remove the bow tie from him.
really. I
Like
mean,
make it, yeah, make it a little more basic.
I like the bow tie. I think the bow tie,
Bow tie kind of makes him look like a Morris Costumes worker.
true. They should do that. They should just have a red velvet jacket on an animatronic.
Have a Scott Morris animatronic.
I do also really like just once again, it's just that little detail of the blood. Like, I don't is it on the both arms or is it only on that arm? I can't
I
tell.
think it might be on both. Can we play a little bit more of it to see? Because I think it
Yeah,
might be
let's
on
do that.
both
I can't
arms.
tell. Yeah, I think that might be. But like just that little bit of blood, because he's not like supposed to be a
Yeah.
super gruesome. It's just some blood splatting out from his mouth, I guess.
Right, where
Um,
he's made the mistake multiple times and sliced his face up.
exactly, exactly.
Which I love that they did that too, because they didn't have to make him all cut up on his face. It would have just been cool even without that part, but I think it adds so much more character to this guy. Like he's trying to do his best and he sucks at it. I,
Yeah, I
I mean,
agree.
realistically, that's it. That's all this is this is a sword swallower who sucks at his job. That's the whole concept to the guy. It's
Literally.
not like he's a monster. It's not like, hey, I'm gonna grab your kids. It's a sword swallower who sucks at his job.
And I honestly, that's something I feel like we don't like. Like going back to clowns, we need to see more human clowns, like just
Yeah,
a clown worker. We really don't see many of those. They're just kind of like, full face white. A lot of clowns don't, I want to see more of like that skin coat with a white face paint on it, not just an entire white face.
I agree.
Um, and we just really don't see just a human clown. There's always some sort of twist with them, like candy corn teeth or something like that.
Yeah, it's like
But
they all have some kind of monster. He used to work at the circus until he drank a toxic whatever. And it's like,
yeah,
dude, why can't you just be like, hey, he's a clown, but he's a psycho?
exactly,
That's it.
exactly.
Or
He
maybe he's
used
not even a psycho. Maybe he's just creepy as heck.
exactly. Now one thing we don't completely forgot to put a clip of. I wasn't even thinking about it. There's a couple things. There is a Scarecrow animatronic, pretty basic. I don't know
Are you
if you've
talking about
seen
the
it.
one that says animated, but it's not animated? It says
It
animated, but it just has a sign that lights up.
No, so there's that. That was from Big Lots that I think there's 2 Big
Is
Lots
returning.
Scarecrows that they're selling, but there is a original, like new Scarecrow that, he's got a crow on like his arm. And then he just kind of like shakes, he vibrates. He looks good. I mean, it's a simple it's something that honestly the shaking really not necessary. The scarecrow you could easily DIY. It's a simple plain scarecrow. He's not terrible. I mean, I don't think he was that expensive. Um he's all right. He's pretty cool. But the other thing is, which is probably my favorite from the lineup, was this I believe it's 8 foot tall gargoyle podium. Um and I think have you seen that, Savannah?
Mm-mm, I have not.
Yeah, I'll send you a video of that real quick just so you could have a reference. Um, sorry we don't have clips of it. I just completely forgot to add it in when we were planning all of this. Just popped in my head. But it's this 8 foot gargoyle. It's actually pretty big. Like the proportions and size of it. Like it looks iffy in the stock photos, but it was added into the Halloween and Party Expo a couple days later. And the sizing is really good. So the bottom of it and the gargoyle itself is a plastic, and then the pillar is a
Is it that crappy material that's
yeah,
like,
it's a fabric. Yeah, exactly right there. Perfect. So the pillars of fabric, which I mean, I understand, it needs to be shipped, especially with Morris Costumes where everything they do has to be shipped. They're not like a in-person store. I really wish it was a plastic. It would make it so much better.
you know
But
what though? This could be really easy to get that effect that you want it to have by simply using poster board and putting poster board behind that
yeah,
fabric
definitely.
just so that it's firm,
Yeah, and it doesn't have
right?
like the wrinkles and stuff like that on it.
Yeah, that looks awesome though.
Yeah, I believe he's like 240 at wholesale right now. So he is on the more pricey side, but like I said, he's big. So like
Does he do
he's got
anything or it
awesome
just
lights.
lights up?
He lights up and I think there's like creepy sounds that it plays. Um but I got to see him at the or at Transworld. I honestly really like him. He's one I'm kind of considering purchasing, but I would need to get 2 of them, when you get something like that, you
Right.
gotta have 2 as like a, you know, entrance way type of thing into a graveyard. But I really, really do like him. He's one where
Or
another one where they did really good on.
or you could get that and get the that Angel of Death one that
Yeah.
is being returned to Morris.
Mhm.
and have it that way if you're doing a crazy
Side by
graveyard.
side, yeah, I see what I do wanna get I really wanna get a cemetery, archway. Um, Neither of the ones that Morris is selling this year, I'm not too big of a fan of. There's one that says, like, Halloween Manor, which, I mean, that's just why?
Stupid.
It's literally a perfect looking, uh, archway. It shoulda just said nothing. Even if it said
Right.
cemetery, okay, that's kinda cheesy, but
I still
I
hate when they
no,
say
I
that, but
don't
yeah.
I don't like it,
It's
but I would
better than
still get that over
Halloween
Halloween Manor.
something or other.
Exactly. Exactly. I think it just ruins it, and I don't
Yeah.
understand why companies keep doing stuff like that. And then there's another one which just kinda looks cheesy. I think it's made by Sunstar or something like that. Um,
So we won't even talk about it.
yeah.
It
It's
says
super
Sunstar
thin.
Cemetery Halloween Halloween.
Oh, Halloween, Halloween, it says.
Now
Um,
we did also get word that there was some distortions stuff,
yes,
correct?
yes. Distortions has released so far 3 new things, I believe it was, right? So far, we've got 3. We've got the Alien Spider, Scarewolf Legend, and, the Wicked Witch. Now, Alien Spider is technically the only new
New.
thing, because so Wicked Witch is a static version of their Cauldron Witch that they've got going on, and then Scarewolf Legend, which is like a old animatronic, and then Scarewolf Legend is just the static version of Scarewolf from last year. I do like that. Personally, I'm not a big static guy, like static props. I'm not. I don't know. They could make cool photo ops, but for home haunting, I don't know. And there's very few
To
that I
have
feel like,
such a detailed prop that doesn't move,
yeah,
it doesn't make sense, right?
mhm,
Like, so, like, I I have a twisty prop that is static. Now, it's not distortions quality, right? I got it from Spirit years back. It goes well because it's just a creepy clown standing there staring at you, which may happen, right? Like a creepy clown may just stand there and stare at you. But these have like action poses,
yeah.
which kind of defeats the, like it wouldn't really just pose like that. So I think I get why they're doing it for people who couldn't afford to have the animatronic version. They can have the legend version, right?
Yeah, like, I mean,
Um,
like, they're really cool props, and I'm not like, they're still really cool, and I would love to own one. It's really a cool in my eyes, it's more of a collector's piece.
right. This
I
is
look at
something
it
to
more
have
as
in your like studios in your
exactly,
room or what have you. I agree
exactly.
100%. Like
Um,
that Scarewolf would be amazing to have just like in a Halloween
yeah,
room. Like kind of like how you have Yoda back there. You never
exactly.
really turn that Yoda on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To have a Scarewolf back there would be a freaking awesome. For a haunted house though, different story.
It could probably work for, like, a display. I mean, just kinda throwing them out with a bunch of stuff, like, it would look well.
The only thing I think it would work well with is if you had like a double-sided window or a double-sided mirror
Oh,
that
yeah,
then turned on with a strobe.
with
Strobe
strobe
usually
lights.
gives the effect that something's moving. And
Yeah,
also if it was double-sided that you couldn't see what was on the other side
that
until
would
the
work
strobe
really
kicked
well.
in, it would work really well. And you'd probably it might scare more people than the actual animatronic did.
I know Jacked Up Builds is doing a drop panel with a mutant static behind it. So like once again,
Same kind of
there's a
concept, yeah.
perfect, it can be utilized, but I mean, they're more just for the looks. They're more just
Right.
to kind of collect and stuff like that. Now, Alien Spider, something like that could work great in a haunt. That's just kind
So
of
is
like
Alien Spider static?
static. Yes, that is static.
Okay.
But honestly, I think put a room with like 5 of those crawling around a room or something like that, that'd be pretty dope.
It would
Um,
also be cool if they released a version that's static and a version that maybe just moves its arms, like their
yeah, it would be dope
Frightronics
to it would be
type. It could
awesome to
be
have something
plug
that
into a
moved it.
motor.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily need to be pneumatic, and just have some that are still, maybe even one that moves.
Hmm.
The thing I
Mix it
like
up.
about
Yeah.
this guy is that the back of his what's normally body looks very
Yeah. It's
brain-ish,
like a brain, which I think
which
is
makes you
really
think
cool.
like, dude, this spider's smarter than the average bear, dude, and
True.
might get
Um,
you.
Last year they did the pumpkin spider, and they're bringing out the alien. They're Distortions has realized that there is a huge, I guess you could say, demand for alien stuff, and there's really not much in the community for it. But like that alien and sci-fi stuff is recently, past couple years, started to pick up and become like a pretty popular theme. That
Well,
people
and
have
they've
been
they've
liking.
Distortions has always had some version, not all, I don't want to say always, but has really been kind of the only company that I think fully understood that some people want alien stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, they did those Roswell
Yeah,
aliens
they
that are
do a lot with
still
the
in
Roswell.
Roswell, New Mexico at the UFO
Yeah.
museum, which I've been. Um, and they had the one that comes out and spits out of the
Mhm.
machine.
The alien
So they've
parasite. Yeah.
yeah, they've always had like an alienish uh something or other that
Yeah.
they've put out, which I think is awesome. It's and because those can work in a laboratory, they could work in a military type of vibe. You can use alien stuff in multitude of ways.
I agree.
It's
Definitely.
it's pretty cool. I'm glad to see that I'm also glad to see that they're switching up a spider. The pumpkin spider thing was kind of cool. I'm not a huge fan of pumpkins when it comes to decorating for Halloween, unless it's going to be literally like you're putting out a jack o' lantern. But I'm glad to see it's something better than just like, hey, here's another hairy spider that we're changing the color of:
I agree.
brown, black with red, blue with yellow, or whatever.
And I think that I do really think they did a great job on the design with him. I mean, the arms, like, it's hard to see in this picture, but if you get a closer look, like, you could see there's some like little spikes in it. He's got 2 layers of teeth, which I really like. Just that little, that little detail just makes it so much creepier, just so much cooler. Um,
Yeah.
but he's one I really do like him. He's got the posable arms and stuff, which I think is cool.
So, with what you personally have seen from Morris, what you've seen from Distortion so far, how are you feeling 2024 is going to stack up to 2023, 2022, 2021?
2023 is definitely going to be a hard year to beat. There was so much, I feel, innovation. There was so much unique stuff going on. Um, it was a really Every company did phenomenal. I mean, Lowe's completely did a 360 or 180,
180.
and showed us was one of the best, you know, lineups that we saw for the year. We saw pneumatics for the first time in retail, which was amazing. Something that, we thought we would never ever see. Um so that, there's a
We
lot
saw a
to
lot of servo props.
yeah, a lot of servo props, which me personally, I'm done with normal, just the normal motors. I
Just do them all
love
as servo.
literally, if unless it's like, a jump scare type of thing, which a motor like that is fine, but if it's just gonna stand there and talk, it needs servos now. And
It
Home
does.
Depot showed us that so well. I mean, the realism in Yoda in his movement. I'm not a big Star Wars guy. I've never really watched Star Wars. I've never been a big, I don't know. I was never interested in Star Wars. Don't kill me in the comments. I know that it's, a huge
I'm
mess.
not either. I'm not
Yeah,
either. So
he's
I
not
got your back.
either.
Let's do it.
But I mean, Yoda was just it's incredible. It's like a silicone type rubber material. It's not your standard latex. He's Yoda compared to the other servo props that they did is a even higher quality material, which can't be used in the cold, which kind of stinks because it hardens up. But
Well,
that's why
and don't they have like a Santa version?
yeah. So Yoda, he comes with the same. box he comes with. I don't have it with me right now, but a Santa hat or a witch hat, and then and a witch hat and a sign, Christmas and a Halloween sign, which I think is really cool that they made it versatile for both holidays. Just
But
kind of
if you
think it's
can't use it in the cold,
indoor. It's got to be something that's got to be kept indoors, which stinks. Um, he like most animatronics are rated for indoor or
indoor use,
under
covered, yeah,
covered.
covered outdoor.
He's just indoor. He doesn't have that covered outdoor rating. But the
Now, I think
other
it's. I want to talk about that real quick. They know that nobody, the percentage of people that are using it indoor or covered outdoor only, they know that that percentage has got to be less than like 1%,
yeah. I mean, up
right? So why
until
even say it at this point?
they got to cover themselves because if
But
they rate it for
half those
outdoors,
places, like Home Depot, if it breaks, they're just like, okay, whatever, they'll replace it. Lowe's will do the same thing. Spirit will say,
even
"What's the broken piece? We'll give you, we'll give you a piece back or whatever." Like it's not like they're going through and saying, "Ah, this thing got wet." That's not happening. Most of these places are going to go ahead and return it, especially if it's the same year.
yeah,
Next year or something like that, you're not going to probably get your money back.
it's
But
just say weather resistant.
yeah, or just like not weatherproof, not waterproof.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me that they're like indoor only. Nobody's doing indoor only.
I mean, up until this year, I would bring in and out my animatronics every year. But after seeing Brick with all of his animatronics, leave them out for weeks, all that time that he had them out, and there being little to no damage to anything, I was like, it'll be fine. And I think everything's held up as long as the mechanisms are covered in like heavy rain. Um, I know there's some materials like some latexes can't really isn't good to be left in the sun or like rained on or stuff like that. But if you're gonna leave it out for a little bit of time, not much. Obviously, if it's severe weather, I would say bring it in. But if it's just a bit of
Right.
rain, I mean, as long as it's covered up, the important, like control box and stuff like the control box is the main, part. And don't if it is wet, don't activate it because that could completely just fry it.
So going back to my question, we haven't seen any servos yet, right?
Servos are, like I said, one of my big things, and I really hope we get to see more of them.
We haven't seen any pneumatics yet. We have seen where they're using old mechs in new ways, like the sword swallower.
Love to see that.
So, again, so far with what you've seen, do you think it stacks up compared to last year?
I do think this year is better than Morris last year. I feel like a lot of people disagree from what I've heard, but personally, in my opinion, I mean, Morris never really does the craziest lineup. They're always have like that one or two really, really cool animatronic, and everything else is like Sunstar. Um, but I think with the Gargoyle and Sword Swallower, um, I think they were two. I think those two are better than anything. I mean, it's hard with Barker because Barker was really cool.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
hold on, don't say
no,
anything.
it's hard because honestly, I might like Sword Swallower more than Barker. It's hard to say. I
Well,
gotta like really see it in person.
and
Barker
and
has
that's
more character, but like Sword Swallower just seems more professional.
well, and that's the thing is that let's be real. What we do is we fall in love with the newest animatronics that come out. We feel like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever, until something else comes out, right? Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you say, no, I don't care what comes out after this. This is still
Mhm.
the best of this year, right? I don't think we've seen the best of this year yet.
No,
I
I
really
think there's
don't.
gonna be a no, 100% not.
I think we I think that last year proved to people that you can't sleep on Party City. You can't sleep on Lowe's.
Yeah,
Lowe's had an incredible year last year. That it was their best year ever.
Yeah, without
ever.
a doubt. There's no question. There's no question to that.
Those are huge shoes to fill, though. So if they don't hit it out of the park this year, which I have a feeling they will because they did, they obviously had a bunch of amazing publicity and reviews last year. And I think that the sales, other than the pneumatic stuff, reflected that of their props. But I, I think if they don't at least match that level, or even maybe even if it comes down a little bit, if they go back to where they were before, where it's like skeleton bride holding the skeleton groom,
Yeah,
like then it's going to go back to, oh gosh, here we go with Lowe's. But I don't think that that's going to happen. I think Lowe's is going to probably
I
knock it
do.
out of the
Yeah,
park for sure.
I do think. I think it's gonna be hard to beat last year innovation wise because, like I said, with something like pneumatics, there's really
Like, where
when
do
it
you go
comes to
from there?
innovation, like doing something like pneumatics is hard to be unless you went crazy with more, did some really unique, because I mean, like the pneumatics, okay, they weren't the best, I guess you could say designs. They weren't the best, I don't know. In my opinion, I wasn't too big with them. They were simple. I
That
think
witch was dope, though, dude.
what was dope?
Oh, Lethal Lily.
That was Servo
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
and
That's right.
Home Depot.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Sorry, sorry, sorry,
I
sorry,
was
sorry,
gonna
sorry,
say, wait a minute.
sorry, sorry,
No.
sorry. No, I thought the Grandpa Servo one was awesome.
Yeah, I think he's awesome, but with me, the grandpa and the clown, I'm not big with just little guys on the floor. I just don't find
But
it
see,
scary. You could literally just kick it away.
that's where the Grandpa one made sense because he was coming out of a
Oh
grave,
no, it makes
right?
sense, but like,
And
yeah,
his
definitely.
movement, in my opinion, it wasn't to scare you. It was just to show
Yeah,
some erratic movement. Whereas they tried to make the clown scary. Eh,
yeah.
it wasn't. We unboxed it on our channel, and I wasn't a super fan of it. The old man, I absolutely love, and I wanted to. I wish I would have bought when I said I was gonna. I wish I would have bought the old man and just switched him into a clown because you could put him behind something,
Yeah.
right? Like put him behind a table and just you know.
I do honestly regret not getting any of the animatronics, any of the pneumatic stuff. I do like. I would have loved to do some sort of reskin or rehaul on them, like redo them a bit. I did really like the possessed woman though. I thought she was genuinely kind of creepy. At first, I wasn't a big fan of her, but after like outside of the demo video, after I saw people getting her, the movement was a lot creepier and just like fast and just pro looking than
Yeah.
I had originally thought.
But with the servos, though, I do think that, and realistically, let's think about this started with Grimm.
Yeah,
And I
Spirit
think that
really
what they
kicked
were
off the
doing is,
servos. Yeah,
yeah, and I think that what they did is they said, hey, we don't know how this is going to work under latex. We don't know if this is going to be able to uh, really give facial features and all this stuff. So let's just put it in a skeleton,
yeah,
right? Let's do as basic as we can. Because think about Grimm without the servo stuff, it just looks like a BOGO
just a posable
skeleton just
skeleton. Yeah,
for you,
exactly.
right? Yeah, just a posable skeleton. And then with Home Depot using that for the Yoda, for the Witch, for THD 3000, it showed like, dude, you can use servos to give facial
Yeah,
expressions, which is huge.
it really is.
Imagine a vampire where at first he looks nice and then he wants to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or like a werewolf. You could literally probably use a mixture of servos and motors to have a face morph from a regular whatever into a werewolf looking face.
yeah.
Like there's so much that I think the technology can do that they need to continue to push the line. If they don't continue to push the line, it's going to be a step backwards this year.
And seeing that really last year made me so upset with Heckles. It's both SVI. Servos are SVI. Heckles was SVI. If he had like servo head movement and the eye blinking, and his character was about his personality. He was
Right.
a personality driven animatronic. If he was just holding a regular balloon instead of that stupid toxic looking effect that just looks cheap, looks bad. If he had that, we finally got a servo clown, which we haven't even seen yet, which I'm surprised about.
Right.
Um, it
Maybe this
really
year's
would
the
have made a
year.
difference. Yeah, who knows? I really also was kind of bummed out that we didn't get any servo stuff from Spirit, seeing that last year, seeing that they, they're the ones that kind of kicked off servos. You would
Right.
think they would want to do more and make it like their thing, make them dominate in the servo game, you know? But we didn't see anything. And all the cool servo
Well,
stuff went over to Party City, or not Party
see,
City, Home Depot.
Lowe's. Oh yeah,
Oh,
Home
yeah,
Depot.
Home
Sorry.
Depot, Home Depot.
But the thing about it is at this point, there's I feel like we saw an evolution. We saw Grimm, and then we saw Yoda and Lethal Lily and THD. So it's like, okay, where's the next? Even like you said, Heckles, who it was all about his character. He wasn't a scary clown.
Yeah,
He didn't say anything scary. His body shape with his knees buckled in, it was all about his character. If they would have put Servo into that facial feature, he would probably be one of the best animatronics of all time.
honestly, I kinda agree because he looked decent, but obviously besides the face
Well,
form.
depends on which head you
Yeah,
got, but yeah.
like, I really did like his design. I liked the sad clown look. Okay, it's not scary, but it was kinda just, like, unsettling, I guess you could say, especially if it had that more lifelike feel to it.
Right.
He had a lot more potential.
He had a
Um,
lot more potential. And when that thing first came out, they were originally saying it was going to be Servo.
did they? I don't even remember that.
Yeah, on the first when people first found his ad
Mhm.
or his listing on Spirit, it originally said,
So, maybe he
and then
was
that
supposed to
that
be
got changed.
they must have, I don't know, something must have went down. Maybe that's why he
Cheaped out.
maybe that's why he had so many face deformities. Maybe his face mold was intended, something was intended there for servos, and last minute they just had to whip up, something quick and
Yeah.
cheap, and
Or someone just messed up on the website.
or that too. But it would have been awesome to see him with servo.
But I think at this point that, it's we've proved time and time again that we will spend a little more money for a little better quality. And, we want to see these things. We've been screaming it at the top of our lungs as collectors, as haunters, that we want to see servos. I mean, we said for a long time pneumatic, 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 and then the pneumatic stuff came out, which was hit or miss depending on the animatronic and depending on the mech, right? But the servo stuff, every single prop they've put out so far with a servo has been a hit.
The only one
Every
that
single
kinda didn't sell was THD. He was the only he was
But people were
iffy
still
sales-wise,
talking
but yeah,
about
the Hunter community was obsessed with him.
right.
Yeah.
And I
He
think
was
that
very popular.
I think that the reason he didn't sell is because that type of character is not for the
Yeah.
average person putting up Halloween decorations.
Mhm,
A witch?
definitely.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's do it. A clown? Yeah, everybody loves to put a scary clown. A Yoda? Sure, we can use it for Christmas too. Right? A skeleton? Yeah, they sold the crap out of Grimm.
Yeah, Scrim was sold amazingly, but it's, that basic skeleton, it's perfect.
Right. But we need to it needs to whoever's out there, whatever company or what, you need to listen to us. I'm telling you, motors are going to be a thing of the past, hopefully. And if you don't do it, your competitors will.
I agree. It's the new
Have
norm.
it needs to be the new norm. The motor stuff is like, okay, you look at cars, for instance. It needs to be the same thing, right? Now, obviously, the pneumatic professional stuff, that's going to be your Bentley or your Ferrari or what have you,
Yeah.
right? But you can buy a nice Mercedes. Okay, that might be a servoed prop. And then the motored prop, that's going to be your Chevy, your, what have you. And then you got your Scion XBs or what have, and that's going to be your Sunstar crap.
Yeah.
No disrespect to anybody who's driving a Scion. I'm just saying, like, it's a cheaper vehicle, which is fine, but that would be your Sunstar prop, right? There is room for a middle ground there, and it needs to be servo. And I'm okay with paying a little extra money for
I
a
agree.
servo prop.
I
I'd rather
completely
do
agree.
that than to have a fogging mechanism, personally.
Yeah.
When we saw nozzles and what was he, 350? Bro, I would have much rather had servo something or other and spend 350.
Servo
I'd be
heckles.
okay
I
to
would
do
I
that.
would have preferred spend 350 on a servo heckles.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Because like a lot of people are
So,
complaining about prices and stuff like that, but it's because the quality doesn't match the price.
and that's the thing. Like, I understand that everything goes higher in price.
Yeah.
My
I
camera just got
completely
super
understand
bright.
inflation and all that.
Yeah, every inflation and everything, but like, if you can do it with Grimm, you can do it with a drunken pirate. You can do it with a jack-o'-lantern type of character. You can do it with a Frankenstein, with a scarecrow, with a whatever. Like, you can do it, and let's be realistic. If you can keep the price under $400, especially talking to Spirit, people are going to buy it. Talking to Party City, people are going to buy it.
Yeah.
Right? Like $400, somebody can go to Spirit and drop $400 at like it's nothing. They're
That's true.
the people who are buying animatronics, they're going there and saying, okay, let me see what I'm going to get. That's 400. I guess I better save up or what have you. But there are people who are paying 350 for nozzles. They're going to spend $400 for something that has a servo and just looks that much cooler.
I just got a little food delivery right now.
Oh,
Changing the topic a little bit. We
well,
just
going
got
from cheesy props to cheesy dishes.
Hi. Yeah, exactly. Cheesy props to cheesy dishes.
When the trees.
We got the Velveeta mac and cheese. If you guys
No,
haven't
no. Mac and
Velveeta
cheese.
shells and cheese. Excuse me. Velveeta sing it, Savannah.
Velveeta shells and cheese.
Beautiful, beautiful. If you guys aren't up to date with Trick or Trio, yes. She said her homemade was better. We'll see.
Hey, Tyler like the blue box.
If you guys aren't up to date with Trick or Trio, what are you doing? Watch our Wicked Makers episode. We're back, me and Savannah. But there was a whole debate about Velveeta mac and cheese. I've never had Velveeta. I've always said Kraft is better. Savannah's a Velveeta person. He's even been talking about it on his live streams. I know
Wicked makers are Velveeta people.
Yeah, they're Velveeta people, but I know Brick Thunder the other day tried Velveeta for the first time. He was also a Kraft guy. He tried Velveeta and still said Kraft was better.
He
So
also has blue hair, so maybe some of that dye is leaked into his brain. Okay, maybe he likes the blue box
or
Kraft because it matches his hair.
or maybe Kraft is just better. But we'll
Well, let's
see.
find out. Take a bite.
Find out.
Look at that. Look at that golden, shellish, cheesy. Look at that. That looks so much better than your mac and cheese. Gotta admit, does it look better? Gotta admit it. It does.
I don't know about look. I think the Kraft might have that appearance better.
Doesn't have
It's
the
steaming.
taste.
It's hot.
The cheese gets in the shell. Tyler, come on, you know it. You know it, dude. Look at the spoon. Look at how much cheese has covered that spoon. You don't get that with Kraft. You know it. You don't want to say it. I can tell by the look on your face. Look at that spoon. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God. I'm ending this. I'm ending this. That's it. We need to start talking to the people out there. We need to ask people out there what do they prefer. You're saying you're sorry you don't like shells and cheese. Oh my gosh, that's the end of this podcast group again. This is the third time we've broken up as a duo.
Now this is the Trico Uno. Trick or Uno. Well, let's see what the chat says, and let's move into a little Q&A. And what do you think, chat? Craft or Velveeta?
Well, first, let's just ask straight up Q&A questions for everybody. We want to roll the little Q&A card.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Extra, extra. Read all about it. The Trick or Trio answers all.
Boy, I'm so... Look at you eating it off camera. You're shoveling it down. You love it. You know you do. You're just doing it for the camera.
There's a weird taste. There's something off.
It's called flavor, I think is what you're...
Not, I have to say, the extra cheese, especially the extra cheese craft, definitely.
Bro.
I don't know.
Well, let's find out. Let's find out. Amy, can you start pulling up some of these questions here for us? See what these folks are saying about Velveeta versus Kraft.
I see a lot of craft. I see a lot of craft in the chat. Just saying.
All right, so there is not a whole lot of questions. There's just people giving their opinion on what they like better. Kevin,
Can we do a poll? Can we do a poll? Can't you do that in live streams, right?
Yeah, you'll just have to give me a minute. You want me to do that?
Yeah, no worries. Of course, of course.
Yeah, okay. Let me do a poll real quick. Give me 1 second.
I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, I will say this. If Kraft macaroni and cheese wins over Velveeta, I promise you, I will quit living.
Maybe next live stream. Maybe next live stream we gotta have Savannah eat some.
Try macaroni and cheese. Talk about how bland it is. You know what we need to do? We need to get the CEO of Kraft and the CEO of Velveeta on here. And not tell them we're bringing the other one on, and then just pop it up and be like, look, go at it. One's going to be like, ours is real, made with real cheese. The other one's going to be like, yeah, but your cheese is powder.
Dude, look at this poll. Look at this poll. Okay. Oh, it's going around. It's going crazy.
I can't see the poll personally, so I'm going to wait until it's completed.
You want me to go ahead and tell you who's in the lead right now?
Oh gosh, I'm sure it's gonna be Kraft.
Kraft is in the lead, 70%. Oh, 67, and shells and cheese.
Get the heck
33%. This is insane. This is insane. I do not agree.
This is disgusting.
We are gonna make a changed man out of Savannah. That's what I'm talking about, chat.
They're trolls, is what it is. This is like saying, oh yeah, you know, the McDouble's better than a double cheeseburger. Nah, bro. You need the extra cheese. It's the cheesiest. Velveeta, mac and cheese. I'm sorry. What's the Kraft macaroni?
Oh wait, did you just say Velveeta mac and cheese?
What's the Kraft macaroni and cheese song?
They don't need a song because they're that good.
Get out of here.
You don't need a song when you've got an iconic box.
Iconic box full of powdered cheese.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll. And it looks like the winner is Kraft with 65%.
That is disgusting. I am disappointed in all of you. Tyler, did you vote? Be honest.
Of course I did. I had to throw my vote in there. only on my account. Only on my account. So. But out of the 15 votes. Okay, it's still like 60 to 30%.
You're still eating it?
Well, I'm not gonna waste it.
I would have wasted it if it was mac and cheese. I would have thrown it against the wall.
I'm honestly not
I'm
that
so
big.
disappointed. So disappointed.
I was disappointed too. You know what?
I wasn't expecting that. That was good. That was good.
All right, we have a question from Holiday Central.
Yes, Q&A time.
All right, Holiday Central said, can Tyler say if he's changing the theme of the haunt this year or if he's keeping it the same?
Not gonna lie to you, Holiday Central, I don't know. So, if a lot of you know, every year I always change up the theme. Um, but I'm kind of in that position where I'm trying to go more professional with it. I'm trying to be smarter with my money. Because obviously a pro haunt is not something that's gonna be cheap. And I'm honestly not thinking about changing too much. I do have an idea if I do decide to completely rehaul it, like change the theme. Um, the layout will probably be pretty similar, but I've got an idea that I want to go with. I'm thinking about obviously just a thought. I'm not confirming any of this, but going with some sort of like far. We were talking about something like this earlier, like a farm hillbilly, like southern haunted house.
Yeehaw.
Exactly. That's where I'm thinking about maybe going there. I've got a couple ideas on different rooms that I want to turn into, like the church. I was thinking, once again,
A barn.
brainstorming, thinking about turning the church into
A barn.
I can think. No, 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 not a barn, like a sawmill.
Oh.
A big old sawmill. Um, I think it was Hamburger Hospital gave me that idea. I believe it was him. Um, And I was like, honestly, that's really cool. I could,
That's
that'd be
really cool idea.
really, really creepy,
And
saws and stuff.
and on top of that, I think it's very original.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Definitely.
original.
So it really just depends. I may keep it very similar. Regardless, I'm definitely gonna add to it. It's definitely gonna be better than last year's, which, I mean, hard to top. Last year's was pretty good. I got to give myself a pat on the back for that one. Um, But I'm trying to save a lot more money this year, on the haunt, so I'm probably not gonna be putting as much into it, money-wise. So we'll see,
Well,
because I really don't know
that's
yet.
one thing that's beautiful about doing a haunt year after year after year is once you get a couple years in, you can, like Tyler said, you can spend your money more intelligently because you can say, all right, we've got this big room and this piece pretty much completed how we wanted it. We might be able to add a small thing here or there, but some sections that maybe were a little less themed or a little less had a little bit less of an impact, you can say, all right, look, I really want to focus on bringing that one up to the level of the
Exactly.
other rooms.
Exactly.
And so even if it's the same or similar than it was last year, you can, I imagine Tyler thinks the same thing, but you can always up it. You can always plus it.
Completely agree. 100%. There's always a
You
little
know,
change you can make, and just work like, I've built up a massive inventory of different Halloween props, animatronics or whatever. I've got also gotten to the point where I've got like 70 props, animatronics and stuff. I think I used like 20 to 30 of them last year
right.
because, I'm doing different themes every year. So I need to get different props that match that theme. And then it just turns out some of them I just don't use. Also, I'm just not big in with overloading a haunt with animatronics.
I
I've
agree
never really been too
100%.
big. I'm more actor base, set base. I'm not too big, have an animatronic here and there. But
It's, in my opinion, animatronics are good for a display to get people hyped
mhm,
about the haunt. And then the haunt is, in my opinion, should be actor based, right? Unless you have like Brick's haunt, where you went into the section where Mutant was
yeah.
the perfect way of incorporating an animatronic in a haunt. or how he did the mummy section.
Yeah, I think
Right.
theming a room or like a section on a focal animatronic is a great way to use an animatronic and a haunt, just like that. Just
Yeah.
like you said.
All
Yeah.
right.
Just like I
But
did with Chrissy in the church. She was kind of like that
exactly.
big focal point in that room.
But see, what would you do with her if you change that to a sawmill?
I could figure something out.
Now, I did hear that you were getting away from clowns, so I know somebody that might want to take some off your hands.
Maybe. I think I've got pretty much everything you've
No, you definitely have some I don't. I've been to your house.
got.
You can't hide them from me.
All right, next question.
Next question. Chris and Sophia said, did Savannah enjoy the Christmas Story house?
I did today while I was in Cleveland. I went to the Christmas Story house with Chris and had a wonderful time seeing a lot of highlights about one of my favorite holiday movies that, to be frank, is probably one is for a fact. I said one of my favorite holiday movies. No, it is my favorite holiday movie, but also a lot that made me think about my childhood because I fell in love with that movie when I was little. It was a family tradition, and it was cool learning a lot about some of the stuff that happened behind the scenes. But I will say that they did kind of drag on part of that tour. It was really cool being in the house, seeing the house where they filmed all the stuff, seeing the sets and everything, seeing the backyard, seeing the neighbor's house. Just being on the street, I noticed when I left that the real street name, the sign was there, but right above it, it said Cleveland Street, which is the name of the street in the film. But the second part of the tour where they were like showing us fan artwork and stuff, I was like, get to where the BB gun is, dude. Like, but yes, had an amazing time. Amazing time. Thank you so much, Chris, for being there with me. It was awesome, dude.
All right, next question is from Rojas02. And they say, okay, the real question is corn tortilla or flour tortilla?
Now, I know my answer.
I feel like you're gonna say corn, but I'm gonna say flour. I'm a flour guy.
Nah, it's always corn. Corn tortilla, always got.
Hey, I knew you were gonna say corn. I'm a flour tortilla guy. I don't know.
The corn tortilla is so simple. You can literally have meat and some salsa and a tortilla. You don't need anything else to have an amazing street taco. Big flour tortilla, you're going to have 900 ingredients in it to make it tasty.
I'm a burrito guy. I like burritos. So
you got to have
I would take a burrito or a taco. I mean, I love.
Yeah, but you're thinking like crunchy taco. That's not like a real taco.
No, I know what you're talking about. No, because I'm a soft shell guy. I'm not, unless it's like the Doritos Locos from Taco Bell. Usually, I'm not a I'm not a hard shell taco guy. I'm always soft shell.
But even when you're saying a soft shell, you're talking about a flour tortilla taco, like from Taco Bell.
No, Taco Bell is, like I said, I go for the Doritos Locos usually. But I don't know.
When we go to Vegas to celebrate your birthday, which we're going to talk about here.
Yes.
I'm taking you to a legit taco shop, and I took Amy here as well, where you stand in line and they'll have the ass of the cow sitting there, and literally will cut it off right in front of you.
Dude, tacos are genuinely one of my favorite foods. I love, honestly, you know what, whether corn, tortilla, I don't care. I just love tacos.
You will love this place. You will love this place, I promise you. But don't get the lengua. They sell cow brain, they sell cow tongue. Don't eat any of that stuff. I don't eat that stuff.
I would try it.
All right, well, hey, you're gonna in Vegas soon. Happy birthday.
We also got to go to that Taco Bell there. That
Taco Bell cantina.
Yeah, the cantina.
It's just a Taco Bell that sells alcohol.
No, I know, but it's cool. It's fancy Taco Bell.
It's a fancy Taco Bell.
All right.
Next
Next question.
question.
Yes.
From The Realist, he says, "Have you tried Cheetos Flaming Hot Macaroni and Cheese?"
I have.
I have,
It wasn't spicy at all. I don't know. It tasted kind of processed. I don't know.
which is weird because you don't really like spicy. So you're saying it wasn't
I
spicy?
like a slight spice. I love that, like Takis, for instance. They're not
Okay.
like crazy spicy. They've just got that little kick. And like the wings that we had in Jersey, they're really not spicy at all, but they've just got
Right.
that little slight kick, and that's what I like. Because I'm usually more of like a sweet guy, like a sweet flavor. But I do really like
Like a
Takis is one of
Band-Aid
my favorite
flavored
spices.
jelly bean,
Exactly, just like a Band-Aid flavor.
dishwasher.
Which
I
I'm
have
gonna make.
not tried it.
Oh,
I have not tried the Flamin' Hot mac and cheese. I've had Flamin' Hot Doritos, Cheetos, Funyuns. Um, I just don't know if, like, again, because you eat mac and cheese and that cheese like coats your mouth. I don't know if it would taste good because even the flavor of the Flamin' Hot stuff, it's not really like a good flavor. I think people just eat it for
I
like Tyler saying, a little bit of the spice.
it's got a little flavor and that little spice. I do like a flaming hot. I've had a corn dog with like flaming
Wrapped
spice.
in the Cheetos.
That was amazing. That was one of the best foods
Yeah.
that was really good. But
But
I just
again,
felt
that's just wrapped in the Cheeto though.
yeah.
That's like Cheeto
Or
crumbs.
yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
yeah,
But like to
exactly.
have it as a sauce, I don't know if it would translate well.
I don't know. It just kind of it was a while ago I had it, but it just
I
didn't
mean,
have
it's like thinking
flavor.
about and going, "Hey, have you had flaming hot yogurt?" It's the same thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm good. I'd pass on that one.
Going back to Taco Bell real quick. This is completely off topic, but
You want to eat Taco
they
Bell
started
now, huh?
selling the Baja Blast and like soda things, and I love it. I'm a big Baja
I
Blast
hate
guy.
Baja Blast. I think those things are
Love Baja
gross.
Blast. So if you guys like Baja Blast, not sponsored, but they now
I'll
sell
stick with
Baja.
my cherry Pepsi.
Love Baja Blast. I'm not a Pepsi guy, but well, I mean, like Coke.
They didn't have Coke downstairs, so I had to get Pepsi.
Next question.
All right, the next one is from Maddox Haunts, and he says, "Will you sell me your cackles just because I was your first member? And by the way, Velveeta is better."
Oh, he's just saying that. He's just saying that because he wants you to sell him cackles.
So we actually have two cackles. Amy and I have two cackles. And I've been talking to her lately about, hey, should we sell one of these? And Amy is adamant that we are not to be selling one. And this year that we will be transforming one of them into a female clown, which I'm really excited for. So we're going to
Good.
be
I think
making a clowny dress-ish costume, and giving Cackles some long hair and maybe a bit of change on the face paint. So she's adamant that we are not allowed to sell any Cackles. Me personally, I don't know how we would do a female Cackles, because I can't sew. So that's all going to be up to Amy. She just tells me what to do and I'll do it. So
Now, does anybody have any more questions? This is
I
your
have a
last chance
question.
for some Q&A. Drop them in the chat. And what is your question, Savannah?
My question is, what are you mostly looking forward to when we go to Vegas for your birthday? We are going next week, dude.
Yes.
Actually,
So
wait, is it a week today that we're
It's
going?
a
week
week
today.
from
A week from today.
today. So excited.
It's gonna.
At this time, a week from now, you will be in fabulous Las Vegas. What are you looking forward to the most?
I've been to Vegas a couple times. My grandpa used to live out there, and I went there over the summer during my big road trip that I did. Um, but honestly, you're gonna hate this. I'm excited for the what's it called? IC buffet, IC ACAYC, something like that, where they got all you could eat lobster. And just like even just besides the lobster, just all the food there just looks amazing. I'm a big food guy. I love food. So I'm super it's dumb, but that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the food. And now some tacos. I mean, doesn't get better than that. We're also
Well,
going to a
I
horror cafe, Halloween
I
themed
will
cafe.
say, and you're gonna hate this. I've been to Vegas. If I said 40 times, it would probably be an understatement, right? Because of work.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to spending time with my good friends that live across the country.
Oh, well, yeah, I
Uh,
thought that was just a given. Okay.
no, no, no. Let me just say this. All right, Amy and I consider you and your family and Brick and his family our extended family, and I'm very happy that we have the opportunity to celebrate your birthday with you. So
Thank you.
I hope that
I
that this
completely
trip
agree.
I hope that this trip is something that you don't forget for a really long time. And yes, I know that you've been asking for it time and time and time again, but yes, we will take you to Thunder from Down Under.
No, we gotta take Brick Thunder to Thunder from Down Under. It's in his name. It is literally in his name.
For those people out there that don't know what Thunder from
Figure it
Down
out.
Under is, it is uh, a
You got yourself into this.
like yeah, I was gonna say it is an all male shirtless dance review that Tyler's really been
No,
dying to see
no, no, no,
lately.
no, 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 no. Oh no, 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 no. Savannah thinks he's got jokes. He thinks he's a funny man. But
That's what you
secretly,
get for winning that poll.
whenever he jokes, he just means it for himself.
That's true.
He's excited.
All
That's
right,
true.
there is
Thunder
a,
from
there is another
Thunder from Down Under.
there is another question from Darius, and he says, "What are you hoping to see from Lowe's this year?"
You
Be
want to
dope to
answer?
see servos. I mean, like I was saying, I'm big with servos. I don't think Lowe's. Yeah, Lowe's hasn't done anything with servos yet. I would love to see servo props.
I would
I
love to
just
see
want to see more
servo
servos. That's all I
props.
care about right now. I'm
I would
obsessed.
love to see servo props, and I would love to see if they went the pneumatic again, which I'm not sure if they would based off of the sales of last year. To be honest, it would probably financially not be a good step for them. But if they went the pneumatic route, I would like to see them do pneumatics on more full size props.
I would love to see like a retail electric chair, like
Oh,
pneumatic
that'd be
electric
awesome.
chair. I feel like that's something that some company could easily
That
pull
could
off.
easily be done.
Yeah, because it's just one cylinder. It's a super simple, just making it durable at that speed is the only challenge.
Well, and
I
you
think they
wouldn't
could pull it off.
necessarily have to have it the same speed
Yeah,
as
it doesn't have to
distortion.
be distortions level. Yeah, definitely not.
Right.
Um,
But yeah, but for me, I want to see more servos. I want to
yeah,
see if they go the pneumatic route, a full size, but mostly servos. I agree with you 100% on that, Tyler.
I want to see retail mutant.
A retail mutant.
Uh huh.
I don't
Honestly,
want to
I could
see a
see it
retail
being
mutant
possible.
because it will not look good. It would not look good at all.
Vacuum form back panel,
Yeah,
super
no.
cheesy Sunstar looking prop going. "Ugh."
Plastic chains.
You hear the
His name
clacking of
is
the plastic.
his name isn't mutant. They call it like mutation or something like that. No, I'm
I
good on
mean,
that one.
Lowe's did have the pumpkin spider that Distortions came out with last year as well, which was interesting. So, I mean, honestly, I do kind of like seeing pro props turned into retail stuff, honestly.
If it's done right.
Yeah, if it's done
Like
right. Like
like
the Lowe's
that
one was kind of small.
the
It, it,
pumpkin skeleton was okay.
it was more cartoony than the Distortions one even was. 'Cause that
Right,
one's,
but
yeah.
to be released for majority of hunters, it was okay. I don't think anybody would have. I don't think you'd go to anyone's house and if you saw that, you'd go, "Hey, you got a fake distortions prop." I don't think that's the. But if you got that Sunstar Henry Hustle, Yeah, you got a fake Henry also. Hell yeah, I'm saying that.
That's oh my gosh, Sunstar. They knock off everything from Spirit. It's kind of funny, honestly.
And not even from Spirit now. They're getting into the 12-foot range, and it's
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
dude, oh my gosh, that just seems like it's a nightmare. And I don't know why. And I've said that I've actually contacted. I've had a conversation with somebody from Sunstar because I said, hey, look, you could still do all that cheap crap you do. But you realize there's a whole market over here that you guys could still tap into because you have all of these connections at all of these retailers. So you could still do all the same crap, but just release one or two big, high quality things.
Wait
You don't need
until
it 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, just two.
wait
They said
until we
that's not
get
true.
our Sunstar Kane the Clown.
I'm sure it's being done. I'm sure
It's in the works right now.
Yeah, they're calling him
I'm pretty sure
Lollipop.
Jemmy owns Sunstar, which is interesting. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what I've heard.
Well, then that would make sense because let's be real, Jemmy is not pumping out any high quality full sized animatronics either. So
Unfortunately, not like the good old days.
no, man, they've fallen off. But that's the thing is, it's like you guys understand you have all these connections. That's the biggest part. That's the biggest problem is you have all these connections with retailers. If a retailer hits you up, okay, Jimmy, okay, Sunstar, what do you guys have for us this year? Oh, hey, we got the same 45 things we've sold you last year, but we also have a high quality prop that we've created. Doesn't even have to be in production yet. You just have to have one or two
Yeah,
and be like, hey, look, this is what it does. Oh, crap. You know what? Let's order 1,000.
exactly.
Get your name to Sunstar is synonymous with crap. And is that really what you want your
Their brand.
company to be branded as?
Just like you were saying with the whole car analogy.
Right. Like, do you really want, and it's not even, to be honest, like even a Scion, it still does the job. It's just cheaper because it doesn't have the reputation of what those other companies have. That's
Yeah.
all it is. It's a newer manufacturer. I guess you want to call it a manufacturer, right? A new brand. So they got a lot to do to prove to get up to somebody else's level. Sunstar's been around. Do you want your company to just be known as ass quality?
Yeah. Completely agree.
I don't get it. Still do the crap. I get it because so many
It
people
makes
buy
the
it.
money. Yeah, there definitely is.
It's got to be extremely profitable. But like, bro, switch it up. Throw something cool in there. I want more. That's the other thing I hope that we see this year. I want more contenders in the ring.
Mhm.
I love the techie toys. I love the SBI. I love Crazy Create sometimes, right? Like I love seeing these different makers, but I want more makers. I want to see more ideas come to light.
I want to see more companies expand outside of Spirit because I mean every company does SVI Techie.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many other companies. You know, we've got like YJ, Crazy Create. I'm drawing a blank on names. YJ, Crazy
Wuhan.
Create. Yeah, that one. There's a lot. There's a lot.
Right.
That Spirit works with, and we need to see some, other companies working with these um, other companies working with other
Other
companies.
manufacturers, yeah.
Exactly.
Because it's like, okay, for majority of the spots that you see stuff, it's SVI Techie, which
Yeah.
is cool, but like I want to see other people's ideas too.
And I want to see
personally.
more competition because more competition just equals more companies starting to push themselves to do better.
Exactly. All right,
Now,
we got other questions.
yeah, I was just gonna say, do we have any other questions?
Yes, we do. Oz Creates is asking Tyler, are you making any more props to sell?
Honestly, just really haven't gotten around to. I know last year, I started working on that snake, and I had it at the Midwest Hunters Convention, and was going
Midwest.
to be selling. Yeah, and it was going to be selling it and stuff, but just never ended up having the time to really go full out, the time or the money to really go full out and like kind of produce it. I know I had a couple people that wanted to purchase it, but it just because there's a lot of work that goes into making props. And people that do it, I give so much dedication to. I know Brick Thunder's really getting into it. I know Jacked Up Builds is really getting into it recently. Make sure to go check
Oh,
out his
his
stuff. As
masks are
check out his
stupid dope.
Instagram. He just came out with a couple masks. I think this is like his first drop, and I mean, he does amazing. He is super young. He's the youngest in our group, but is crazy talented with that stuff. And
And the
this is only
dopest
the
thing
beginning.
about it is his masks are 100% by him.
Mhm.
He's not like sending them to a factory to work on his mold or anything. Like it's 100% done by him, and they're stupid dope.
I
I
know
think that
he wants to make
he's
some
got so
props
much
too.
talent.
He wants to make some props too this year, which I'm really looking forward to. But he's got a lot. He's check him out definitely.
Yeah,
100
last year he
recommend.
showed me a fireplace that he made,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Dude, that is incredible." And he's like, and I was like, "No, dude." And he went and he showed me other parts to it. And he was like, "Yeah, but this is just being, this is this, and I wish it could do this." And I'm like, "Bro, you're talking about something that you could remake and resell for hundreds of dollars." And he was like, "Really? Hell yeah, bro." Jacked Up Builds. Check him out. Instagram, YouTube, all that.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
He's just starting to get into the whole YouTube and social media and stuff like that. So definitely give him some love because he deserves it. 100%.
Definitely.
All right, next up question is from Raven Hills Cemetery, and he says, "What theme would y'all want for the ISC 2024 at Spirit?"
I
Wanna
have
go through?
two themes that I would want to see. Like one or the other. So one of them, obviously, I'm a clown circus fanatic. I
You
would
know.
right. I want to see some kind of full on circus theme would be dope. The other thing I would really like to see that I think could work well for more of like monsters and a lot of type of characters we haven't really seen for a really long time is like a sewage treatment plant or some sewer tunnel or something like that, which I think would be a very cool theme you could do, especially to have a walkthrough towards the back. But we could get character because a lot of the times some of their characters will match the ISE,
Mhm. They
right?
did
Not
good with
all
that
of
this
them.
year. They did pretty good with
Yeah.
that this year.
But it would be really cool to get more deformed, mutated creatures as opposed to some of the stuff that we've had in the past. So those are the two themes that I would like to see. What about you?
I disagree with what Jaden said in the chat. He said he wants to see a. Actually, no. I do agree. He wants to see a Velveeta shells and cheese factory theme. Um, I
Awesome.
agree because Velveeta
You would buy no ISE pieces.
not the best, but it's showing that Velveeta went out of business because of how bad it is. So I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But
I'm gonna
no.
have to look up how much Kraft. Actually, Kraft probably makes a whole crap load more now. I think about it. They do everything.
I would love to see another swamp theme. They did one back in 2015, which was great, but I don't know. I just think swamps are creepy. I don't know. They've got a creepy vibe. Not being biased for thoughts for my next year's haunt, but I would love to see a hillbilly, not western, more of a southern farm. I mean, we've seen a bunch of farms, so something more original
A
from a
ghost
farm. Like
town
I
would
was
be
saying,
cool.
oh, a ghost town would be awesome. But like I was saying with a sawmill, there's so many different things you could go off of instead of just a farm and a barn. Like there's so much
Right.
that could go off of that. But I would also really just like to see something completely out of the box, like they did with the factory. It was an abandoned factory, and it's genuinely one of my favorite themes. It's one of the most creative they've done. Um, and I would love to just see something completely out of the box.
I'm gonna disagree.
Really? You didn't like the factory?
I think it was lazy.
Really?
Here's a we have animatronics, so here's an animatronic. We're making animatronics
Okay,
here.
well, I'm not talking about like, you know, animatronics kind of fitting with the ISE. That I'm not, I mean, it would be awesome if they could get back into that. But just the idea of the like just the factory, like minus the animatronics, just counting the ISE itself. I thought it was a cool, with the conveyor belt,
Carvomatic.
yeah, the carbomatic, the squishy tile, or not squishy, but like the lava pumpkin gut floors in the inside.
Tiles.
Even that archway, I really liked how they did that archway with like the beams, the industrial beams going across at the front. I thought that was
You're talking
really
about the
cool.
real metal ones?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like just the design of it and stuff. It looked really cool. But I would just love to see something super unique, out of the box, ordinary like that. All right. Any other questions?
Or I'd like to see a throwback to some older ones. Like
Yeah,
let's
throwback
see
would be
let's
good.
see like a Dracula's castle or something. Like can we have one year where it's like, hey, let's get back to some
Classic
classic
monsters.
creatures? That'd be so cool.
Personally, I'm not a big fan of like the classic monsters because I don't like stuff that's like recognizable, I guess you could say. It's like once it comes down to like it's a cool collector's thing, but not something I would use in like a haunt or anything. But it would be cool to have. I do think they should do like a mini ISE with licensed stuff. I think in like how they had Monty and Sam and stuff like that in that little ISE section in the horror area. I think they should bring that back, and they put it in the horror section, so it makes sense to have like the licensed props for the year and like maybe like a movie theater type of thing, like they did years ago. But I
Now,
think it
when
would be
I'm
cool to have
saying
them.
classic monsters, though, I'm not necessarily talking about licensed Universal monsters. Like you could do a Dracula without saying Count Dracula. You could do
Yeah,
a
no, definitely.
Frankenstein's monster without using Frankenstein, right? Like you could use it would be really cool to see a mummy. When's the last time we saw
Yeah,
a real cool gruesome mummy?
not gruesome, but we had the 12-foot mummy from Lowe's.
You know what I'm talking about. A 6-foot regular sized human mummy.
Have we ever gotten a
12-foot
mummy?
mummy makes no sense.
Have we ever gotten a mummy?
No. And it would be awesome to have part of his bandage is showing and you could see his decomposed
A
skin
mummy
inside.
would be a cool one, yeah. They could
You
do
know,
like
we
an
haven't
ancient
seen
ruin.
some. Right. Like it would be so cool. Some of these concepts we get, it's like, hey, let's have a clown that's shooting fog out of his hands. That's not necessary all of the time. Sometimes we need just a classic monster. Just a monster. You know what I mean? Even though I bought nozzles.
Oh yeah, true. Yes, Chad is right. We had a life-size mummy, or he might have been like 7 foot or something like that, but at Costco this year with the blinking eyes and stuff like that, moving eyes.
I didn't see him in person though.
I didn't
That's
see
the
him
other
in
thing is
person.
like Costco's so weird. You go to some Costco's and they have it. You go to other Costco's
Yeah.
and they already have Christmas stuff up in June. I'm like, what's
Mm-hmm.
going on? In store only, not my store.
All right.
All right. We got.
Please,
Want to
there's
do one
more
last question?
Let's do it.
Yes. All right. This is from the Halloween Hooligan, and he says, Tyler or Savannah, are any of y'all going to the City Museum during Transworld 2024?
I know there's talk about it. I know a lot of people from our clique are going to the Dead Man's Party. I don't know. Are you doing that, Savannah? Do you know?
I don't.
Or not Dead Man's Party. It has a different name this year. But I know a bunch of people are doing that. We've done the City Museum, I think, the past 2 years. We're thinking about it because I mean, it's still pretty cool. It's fun, but we're not 100% sure yet.
For me, the price is you can do more constructive stuff.
Yeah, I want to do some seminars.
Like I to be honest, I was gonna say you could do seminars, or like even a couple years back they had a behind the scenes at Six Flags with their haunted houses, and Amy and I went to that, And it wasn't the actual haunted house part. They could have done it really cool, but it just seemed like they were not ready. And so it was a little unorganized. But the dope thing about it was when we were done looking at the haunted houses, we had the whole park just to us.
That's so nice. That would have been
And so you were literally just walking onto rides. If they did something like that again, that'd be cool. But the city museum, I mean, for
know.
me,
I know some people were talking about doing the behind the scenes tour of the Darkness Haunted House. It is on the pricey side. It's $150. You get a
yeah,
seminar and stuff like that. You get the whole you could record, make a video out of it. Um we were kind of it's pricey, but I believe the Darkness Haunted House is also open one of the nights or something like that, and it's only like $40 to go in with actors and stuff like that. So we were
I
talking
would
about that.
do
I don't know.
that before I would do the behind the scenes thing. And the other thing I look at is like behind the scenes is cool if you're trying to learn ways to do your own haunt.
And that's
I
why I
feel
want
like
to do
for
it.
well, I feel like
But I
for
don't wanna spend that
me,
150, that's the hard.
right, and I feel like for me personally, and Tyler, you might be able to do this too. I've hit up local haunted houses that have done lights on behind the scenes
Mm,
tours for us so that we could learn stuff without having to pay a dime.
yeah,
And, so I think it's just, and the whole reason we even did the Six Flags one is because at the time we were thinking about content, and Six Flags obviously is going to be way more marketable than the Darkness, in my opinion, right?
definitely,
You
definitely.
get roller coaster enthusiasts, you get people that are looking for, hey, well, what does this look like? I'm going to take my kids this year. You get haunted house people, you get actors, etc. So for me, it was like, hey, let's go ahead and do the Six Flags thing. But the best part of it all was about how we had the rides after, because they really didn't do that good of a job of the behind the scenes haunted house thing. If they did that again, I would do that. But realistically, the other thing is there's so many good restaurants and so many people that you meet at Transworld that when you
Right.
start buying up tickets to go and do this and go and do that and go and do this and go and do that, it kind of kills any opportunity you may have to just have dinner with somebody you just met. I mean, we just talked about Jacked Up Builds. That's how we met him, was
Yeah,
at Transworld, and he had a Psychotic Circus of Savannah backpack that he made. And Amy saw him and walked up to him, and that's how we met him. And we said, "Hey, dude, hope you're not doing anything tonight. You guys come to dinner with us." And he fit in perfectly with the whole group that we were with. And things like that I think are more valuable than having a tour or doing like a city museum thing. Personally, or the party sounds cool.
yeah, because I mean, like, I know a lot of people go to the party, and that, once again, is just another great place to network, and I
And
do
you get to
think
dress up.
the exactly, yeah, it's a costume party for adults. I mean, what's more fun than that? But, like, I do think the tour is kind of also a pretty good place to network because a lot of those haunt owners and stuff like that will be at that tour.
The Darkness Tour.
Yeah. Plus, you get to talk to people at the Darkness, which is one of the biggest haunted houses in the world. Um, but once again, it's just that 150. It's a lot.
That's a
So
lot.
I'm probably not. It's probably something we're not gonna do. But it was
Well, wait,
something we
hold
were
on. How
thinking
much?
about.
How much is a Transworld ticket?
Normal one is 100 for,
Exactly.
and then
That's all we needed to talk about right there. You're going to spend $150 to do a behind the scenes
oh, I see
tour,
what you're saying. Yeah.
and it's going to be more than what a Transworld ticket would be for
I see
every
what you're
day,
saying. Uh-huh.
bro. Nah.
And all those people that'll be
And
at
you know
that
what?
tour
For
will be
free,
at
you can go
Transworld too.
check out a different type of haunted house and go to McCamey Manor.
There you go. And on that note, I think we're gonna wrap up the stream. Great.
Yeah, we could go ahead and wrap it up. Definitely. Hope you guys had
Great.
fun. This was
Yes.
a really cool live version of our podcast.
As of
Do you
now,
want to talk about who our next guest is going to be on our next episode?
I'll give a little hint. We've got a special guest from Terrifier. He was the
I bet
VFX.
that you said hint.
Oh, okay.
Now you're just telling who it is.
Special effects. That's all I'm gonna say. That would have literally just given it away. Okay.
I know.
Yes. It's a long one. It's gonna be a longer one too, because we really went deep diving in that conversation. We had a blast with
And that
that one,
whole
and we just didn't want to
conversation is
stop. We were having
amazing.
so much fun. I was gonna say something else. I forget what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing two. So our new schedule is basically gonna be 2 episodes of the podcast a month, and then 1 live stream on top of that, and then we'll have a week, just a break.
To get prepped for newer
Exactly,
episodes.
exactly.
And I will say that the guests that we have lined up for this season are just as good, if not, I don't want to clown anybody who was with us last season, because we obviously appreciated those guests as well, but they're just as good, and sometimes even bigger names than what we had before. So
We've got a lot
like
of
you said, we have folks from the Terrifier film, we have manufacturers, we have very, very, very big folks that come to positions of all these companies that we've been talking about, that we've loved and give thousands and thousands of dollars to every year.
Very true. Very true.
It's an awesome season. Trust me. Awesome season. We're really, really, really proud of this season.
Yes, there's a lot in store this year, and we can't wait to share it with all of you guys. That's what we do it for, just to share our information with you guys. But
Yes.
we hope to see you guys all in the next episode. Trick or Trio out. Peace.
As the shadows lengthen and the moon casts an eerie glow, we bid you farewell. The night may be over, but the mysteries endure, waiting to be unraveled in the episodes that follow. Until then, embrace the darkness of the Trick or Trio.